I mean, I didn't know all this was up here. Wow. So I bought the DJI Mini 2. I'm not sure why. Actually, I am sure why. So the reason I bought the DJI Mini 2 is because it's under 249 grams, so less than 249 grams. But the other reason I bought it is because it's really, really small. It folds up. So what I'm hoping is that this will be a drone that's small enough to fit in my pack and will work well for mountain biking, which is what I do. So let's go ahead and start opening this up. I got my trusty Leatherman over here. So let's go ahead and pull this out. I like this. There's no tape on it because it was already cellophaned. Right away I noticed that this satchel that it comes in, this satchel's bigger. So pulling this, oh, this thing hardly weighs anything. Oh my gosh. It's like a little potato. This is cute. Smaller, okay, this controller is not as large as I expected the controller to be. For my purposes, I'm really pleased with this. I want a smaller controller because it's less for me to carry in the pack. We have a couple boxes here for accessories. So here we have 2 sync cables. We have the batteries, battery charger and case. Cool, so it's got 2 batteries in there. Here's all the props. So here's all the extra props and things. I like how those are individually wrapped now. That's good. Oh, and I believe that the joysticks, there they are. This is cool. That's cool. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's neat. The joystick controllers are like in the bottom of the sticks. The joystick things are in the bottom of the controller. So they unscrew, which is like super helpful if you're storing this in a pack. Ooh, this feels good. Yeah. Already I can tell I'm probably gonna like how the phone is on the top of the controller, which should help a lot with being able to kind of keep your eye on the drone, especially with a drone that's as small and light as this one. This I really appreciate. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. They give you a USB brick, which is, you know, you need one of those, right? This just takes a USB in, which is so cool. And look at that, it's got an output too. It's got a USB out. You can use this as a power bank. Supposedly, according to DJI, each of these batteries has a maximum 31-minute life, or 31 minutes of fly time. Let's just be conservative, give it 25 minutes. Even with 25 minutes of flight time, that's 25, 50. I mean, we're talking potentially, you know, 75 minutes, like over an hour of flying this thing in the air. So this unsnaps. So they have this little clasp thing that goes around our drone. And then, oh, look at that. This is, okay, so these guys go out, okay. They go out like that. And then these guys, look at that. Okay, boink. That feels solid. For something that is so light because it has to be, right? It really feels solid. This battery doesn't weigh very much. What I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna go ahead and charge this up and then go through the activation process. So we'll see how the activation process goes with this. Okay, we're back and I have a charged battery now. Quick start guide, DJI Mini 2 quick start guide. DJI Fly app. There's a QR code inside the quick start guide. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at that QR code. I'm gonna open DJI Net in Safari. It's taking me to the App Store. Cool, so it takes me to this new app called the DJI Fly app. Okay, this turns on similar to the other one where you have to actually push the power button the second time. There we go, it jerks to life. I like how this looks like it looks like a living organism. Like a little trilobite or something I've maybe found. Okay, I think we're ready to go. So next step is let's go fly this thing. All right, here I am at the top of Silver Star Mountain with the DJI Mini 2. We're testing to see how well this worked for mountain biking. So I climbed up here. It's like 5 miles and probably about 3,000 feet of climbing. That I carried this in my pack along with the GoPro and everything. And I can say already that it feels like this and the controller are a lot lighter than they were for the Spark. So that's already a big plus. The fact that everything's all tied up in here was really nice because it makes it easier to travel with. So if I'm taking this out, I have the on-the-go cable already part of the controller. I can mount my iPhone in here, and let's go ahead and turn everything on here. These two are paired up. You get these like 3 little lights that tell you that they can see each other. And then I usually wait until then before I unlock my iPhone and plug in the cable, at which point it automatically finds the app. Cool. So we take off, drag it to take off. Already, like, this thing is way, way quieter. I can't really show you that on the microphone, but it is. I promise it's like a lot quieter than the Spark was. It's not quite like having a horror movie floating over you like I felt like with the Spark. So I'm gonna clap 3 times so that let's see if I can actually sync up the audio with this. Okay, so now we're flying the Spark from Silver Star Summit. I better get this a little higher in case a hiker comes around the corner. But as you can see, you can do pretty dramatic stuff with it. We can fly away. There's I believe that's Mount Adams in the background, or Pato if you want to use the native name. No, actually that's Rainier, so that's Tahoma. And then if we point over here, keep pointing, we'll find another mountain peak. There's Mount Hood. Okay, so that was Adams. So there's Mount Hood. We can point the drone around. Here's Mount Adams. There is Mount St. Helens, and Rainier is just to the right of Mount St. Helens. So you can do all this like, cool, I'm in the mountains, I'm getting awesome looking footage. And then we can like strafe, right? Now we look really cool because we're strafing. And then turn the drone, oh, look at that. Really easy to use. And there's a bit of a breeze up here, and it's not even, it doesn't seem to be the least bit phased by that little breeze. I better stand up so I can see the drone. Here it comes. I can barely hear it, but there it is. I can see it now. When I do these shots, I like to be able to keep an eye on the drone so that I know I'm not gonna crash it right into a rock face, because that would be embarrassing. The signal strength on this thing is incredible. It works so much better than the Spark. You know, for what is essentially an entry-level $600 drone, like to be getting like footage like this it's really hard to believe, like this is what I'm getting. One of my favorite uses of drones is discovering or viewing things that you wouldn't otherwise be able to access without a day of bushwhacking or rock climbing. Right below me on Silver Star Mountain, there's a waterfall called Silver Star Falls. I've always known the waterfall was there, but even having stood on nearly every single peak around here, I did not realize the extent of this waterfall. Silver Creek appears to cascade a good 2,000 feet down the backside of Silver Star Mountain before it reaches the waterfall that you can barely see from the ridge on Silver Star and the top of Starway. It's kind of mind-blowing that a fairyland of waterfalls like this exists like 30 linear miles from Portland, and yet most of us have never laid eyes on it. I was able to see it because of this drone. I'm going to come back soon, earlier in the day or when the sun sets behind the mountains, so that I can get some footage without lens flare in it. The higher-end drones out there do offer more features, some of which are crucial for professionals, but the increased stability and versatility, as well as those professional features offered on the higher end models, do make them more expensive, and more importantly, those features also result in a larger and heavier drone, making them less desirable or even feasible for anyone traveling under their own muscle power in the backcountry. I would argue that the killer feature of any drone is just the fact that it is hovering high above the subject. For the cost of one helicopter flight, you can gather better video than the best studios could have hoped for 40 years ago. The production value added by that one asset alone eclipses almost any other nuances. Viewers will notice you're above the treetops or the mountain you're standing on long before they take note of your image quality. The actual cost of the drone itself isn't my main objection to upgrading, because for what I do, size and weight are really the most important considerations. This drone, however, feels like it's barely compromising on anything considering its portability and its usability. This little flying camera excels at the most important requirement I have for all of my photography gear. I actually want to take it with me. If you're an adventurer first and a photographer second, but still want to create a decent product, this drone is for you. I'd like to take this moment to thank all my Patreon supporters, especially my Loamy Goodness level sponsors Damon Corey, Randy Relaford, and Ty Morgan Marbet, as well as Heather Van Valkenburg, Jason Moore, Pedro Cantarini, and Todd McCarthy. Now, go outside and play.